Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to my subscribers lesson about immigration and scholarship opportunities worldwide. It's Sunday night here in the UK and our local time is 8:55 p.m. Let me check the sound first. Hello. Hello. Oh, sound is perfect. So welcome again, guys. It's really my pleasure to start this newest session. I shouldn't say it's a lesson rather than a session to let you know about the immigration and scholarship opportunities worldwide. Believe me or not, or you can say believe it or not, there are thousands of universities around the world that offer you scholarship, that give you a stipend. Those universities offer you tuition waiver, and many countries you can immigrate. After studying there, you can be permanent citizen. After moving there, you can be resident or permanent resident. So these sessions, which is from now and every Sunday onwards, we'll discuss every bits and bytes, all the possible information, how you can be getting your required opportunity. I'll explain, I'll show you, I'll share with you all this information. But bear in mind that you need to subscribe to this lesson. Otherwise, you'll not be able to make a comment or hop on here. The subscription could be a free trial. I'm offering free trial or free lessons or paid service, whichever is suitable for you. Bear in mind that if you need to go to an immigration lawyer in the UK or any other Western countries, do you know how much you have to pay? Any idea? For every hour, at least $250, which is roughly £200. Believe it or not, that's the fact. And many people, and many candidates who come to this country and in the hope of to get a job or to get a settlement in different routes, they have to go through, a long procedure and process. I believe that this process is more or less same for almost every Western countries. Okay, dear viewers, I've just sent a message to my subscribers. Already 6 students, I should say, or users, better to say. 6 users have subscribed to this lesson. And if you want to be another new subscriber, once again, welcome. If you see the link, which is on the top of your mobile, if you're watching from the mobile, if not, if you're watching from the web, it should be on the right hand side top corner. Click on it. You never know, you might be eligible to get 2 free lessons. Okay, so I'll wait a while until I start discussing all the bits and bytes and other information. And honestly, when I had our previous Hallo live streams, very often I used to explain those things. I shared my information or knowledge with many people, many users, and I believe that more or less it was helpful for those people. Okay, so welcome to our new lesson. Okay, so dear viewers, thank you very much. How are you all doing today? I hope and believe that you're having a fantastic time. Okay, so I'll wait a little bit, then I will start discussing. And this lesson or session, I should say more, perfectly, has been started on a trial basis. So don't you guys, if it doesn't become a successful live streams after a few weeks or a few months, then I'll discontinue. I'll get something else new. But this information will be always with me. My subscribers of this session could get this information, how you can be an immigrant to Western countries. Before that, I'd like to share the widescreen. Okay. I'm sure you can see that. So this is our session, worldwide, migration and scholarship opportunity worldwide. Okay, that's a very basic question. And the very basic question is, what is immigration? Why do you need to migrate? And who can migrate? Okay, I've just unblocked my camera. Okay, dear viewers, once again, welcome to my public live broadcast. In another word, public live class. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, this is not a basic class, rather than a session for the information. Okay. So once again, guys, thank you very much for being here. I know that many of you are interested to make comments and ask me questions. Because of the Hallo policy or restriction, you can't make comments or ask me questions. I'm also aware that many of you wanted to send me messages, but you can't. It says in order to send a message, you need to subscribe as well. Basically, that's the rule and policy of a Hallo app, that you can't send a message or comment here unless you are a subscriber of this lesson or session. Okay, which means that there are always opportunities for the teachers to get new subscribers. It's kind of passive marketing that, in order to comment here or in order to know any question, you need to be a subscriber. And however, because this is a new session and is very important session at this moment, because I know many people around the world want to migrate or want to apply for the scholarship opportunities in different countries, but they don't know how to do that. They don't know the procedure, they don't know the requirements, they don't know what documents you need to be prepared and whatnot. So more or less, this class, I'm saying again class, actually it should be session. This session will cover all these questions from the candidates. All right, and also this session for a month is a bit expensive though, because I'm going to share some important information, especially for the candidates and students. And basically, this is £30 for a month, and it's a weekly once every Sunday, the lesson. Okay, so you can't just hope to join it freely, as I've mentioned. As you can see, already 6 people have subscribed to this lessons and session. So dear my subscribers, if you're still there and if you'd like to join, make a comment. I'll be happy to bring you. However, if you want to join, if you don't want to subscribe, you can still join there. Yes, if you have got, I think there is a small fee. You can click on the hop on button if you're watching from the web. But if you're from a mobile phone, you have to click on the video cam, the symbol of the video camera, to hop on here. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a moment. Hello, has donated. Hero, thank you very much for donation. Sorry for what and hello. Well, as the best for me to meet friends with great teacher. Oh, thank you very much, Hero. You could have hopped on with this money, Hero. I think that that was an opportunity for you to join on this session and you could have a discussion. Heroes, to inform you that Hello had a new update 48 hours ago, and the authority not decided not to allow any students free live streams, whether it's a Hello Plus and normal users. And so that's the latest update. And even the teacher can't go for free live streams as well. They have to just conduct their classes. And that is what's happening. That's why you can't see any students live streams or any teachers free live streams as well. So what you will see is only the live classes from the teachers. And if a student wants to join any teacher or any class, more than welcome. What you have to do is you have to just either subscribe or hop on with a lump sum money as usual, and then you can talk to the teacher. Okay, so let's focus on today's session. How about this is not a class or lesson, guys. This is, I should say, session for your information. So what is immigration? Why do you need to immigrate? Who can immigrate? And how can you immigrate or migrate? Immigrate, migrate, they're almost same word. Yeah. So Oxford Dictionary says immigrate or immigration means to come to live in a different country. Okay. And what does migrate mean? Okay, remember that there's a little bit difference between migration or immigration. Let us use immigrate. Right. Migration means in Cambridge Dictionary, when an animal migrates, it travels to different places, usually when the season changes. If people migrate, they travel in large numbers to a new place to live temporarily. Also, it has got another meaning to move from one place to another. So basically, immigration means when people leave their own country and go to another country for living or staying there, and eventually they can be citizens or they can have permanent residency status. Okay. I'll give you a little bit more insight about immigration. So in another word, the action or the process of coming to live permanently in a foreign country, which means other than your own country. Like I migrated or immigrated to the UK 18 years ago from Saudi Arabia. Okay, so that's a real life example. And who can immigrate? So why do you need to immigrate? I'm sorry, why do you need to immigrate? People immigrate for many reasons. Number one, if they get a job offer with good wages or handsome salary with better facilities, you see. It could be a temporary immigration or a permanent immigration, whatever. And that's the main reason. And there are other reasons as well. So I have just found out people uh, would like to immigrate because of the citizenship or secured and better lifestyle, social service benefits, better education, better career progression, to get better medical service, and when they retire, the retirement and pension schemes, and also after that, post-retirement facilities. And even though there are other facilities that you can get when you just migrated to a country or immigrated to a country or become permanent residency. Okay, permanent residency brings you lots of opportunities being a citizen of the country, where you have the same right as the other native has, where you have the same facilities like the other native has. So there is an indifference by law. Okay, so that's the reason why do people immigrate. Who can immigrate? um, there are different people in different status can immigrate. So the first one is that if you are married to a native of any country, you can immigrate as a partner or with a spouse visa. Uh, or if you apply for a job and if you get the work permit, then you can immigrate with a work visa in that country. And after a certain period of time, you can apply for the citizenship of the country where you live. But bear in mind that not every country in the world gives you the citizenship status. I'll give you a list of those countries that do not give you any citizenships. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So there are some countries, even though if you're born there, that don't give you the citizenship. Okay, these are the list at the moment. So the most difficult countries in the world to obtain citizenship include, basically they don't give it, I should say, in another word. Okay, countries like Vatican City, the smallest country in the world, then Liechtenstein, it's a European country, Bhutan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Switzerland, China, North Korea, Japan as well. I don't know where is this region is, like how to pronounce this. It's a very difficult word for me as well. Okay, let me find out.
Liechtenstein.
Oh, it's a difficult pronunciation. It's Liechtenstein, small country of Central Europe. Okay, let me show you the country's name. That country.
Liechtenstein.
So it's Liechtenstein, small country in Central Europe. Liechtenstein. Okay, so these are the most difficult countries where people do not get citizenship. Even if you live there for your whole life, or if you're born, your child is born, you know, and if you invest your money, they don't give citizenship. All right, and most of the countries around the world give citizenships if you fulfill their criteria. Okay, so as I said, who can migrate? Generally, there are some procedures for all the immigration process. If you are planning to live in any Western countries like USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and European countries, and it depends if you're 18 or above 18. There are a few ways you can migrate. So generally, adults can migrate, and children can migrate as well if a child is born in a different country, but the child's one of the parents is a citizen of the country. Okay, and also, you know, as you know, what I mean to say, immigrate is living permanently. There are some preconditions. Not everyone can live there permanently. For example, if you get a visit visa or a tourist visa, you can live in that country permanently. So it's for a short time. If you want to work or live permanently, in that case, you need a work permit. So permit is a legal document that allows you to work, stay, and live in that country. In some cases, the work permit will enable you to have the all types of facilities in this country, in that country where you live. Okay, how can you immigrate? That is the important part. Now you have decided to immigrate to a country. And now you need to know what are the procedures, how we can apply, what documents do you need. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, that there are many countries that give citizenships by birth. Okay. So let me give you some of the examples of this country, like Azerbaijan. The child must be born in the country to unknown or stateless parents. Bahrain. The father is required to have been born in Bahrain at the time of the child's birth, have a residence permit in the country. Then Israel. A child born in the country who has not acquired another citizenship can apply for Israeli citizenship between the ages of 18 to 21. Okay. Iran. So it can be Irani citizenship if one of your parents is an Iranian. Cambodia. The parents must be living in the country legally, and for example, they have a residence permit. Malaysia. At least one of the parents has to have permanent residence in that country. Mongolia. Only when the parents are unknown and have a I'm just reading a document, guys. It's quite a big document though. Have a residence permit. Okay, Pakistan. Okay, automatically accept for children of diplomats. Okay, if a child is born in Pakistan, the child gets automatically the Pakistani citizenship. Thailand. The parents must have legally resided in the country for 5 years before the birth of the child. Taiwan. Only when the parents are unknown or stateless. In Africa, like the country called Guinea-Bissau, the child must be born in the country to unknown parents. Egypt. At least one of the parents must be citizen or born in Egypt. Lesotho. Automatically accept for children of diplomats. Morocco. The parents must have been born in Morocco and legally migrated to another country or passport. Tanzania. Automatically accept for the children of diplomats. Namibia. At least one of the parents must be resident. Namibia. Tunisia. If the child's father or grandfather are also born in Tunisia, they can get a passport before the age of 20. Chad. When the child turns 18. South Africa. The parents must be permanent residents. UK. A child requires citizenship at the age of 10. Citizenship is granted at birth only if at least one parent has permanent residence in the country. Germany. At least one parent must have had permanent residence for 3 years and lived in the country for at least 8 years before the birth of the child. It seems to be difficult as well. Greece. If the parents are unknown or have lived in the country for at least 5 years before the birth of the child. Ireland. The parents must have permanent residence in the country on Northern Ireland or have legally resided in the country or at least 4 years before the child is born. Spain. If at least one of the parents was born in Spain or if the neither parent can transfer the citizenship. Luxembourg. At least one of the parents was born. Malta. At least one of the parents. Portugal. At least one of the parents has lived in the country and born. France. At least one parent must have been born in one parent must have been born in France. If both parents are foreigner, the child can acquire citizenship from the age of 13. subject to the conditions of residence in the country. Okay. The North American Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda automatically, Barbados automatically, Belize automatically, Guatemala automatically, Honduras automatically, Grenada automatically, Dominica automatically, Dominican Republic automatically except for children or tourists, illegal migrants. Canada automatically except for children of diplomats. But guys, it's a very big list. So remember, not every country in the world can give you your citizenship status. So you need to have information before you migrate to the country. Choose your dream country, whether you like to go to Canada or Australia or New Zealand or the UK or European countries or any other, your dream country. Always try to know their policy and guidelines, whether they offer citizenship or not. All right. If you have ever submitted an application for citizenship, you'll know just how difficult the process can be. Okay. So once again, guys, you're watching this live stream from the UK, and our local time is 9:31, which is the UK local time, and it's 8:31 GMT. Remember that during the summertime, our UK time goes 1 hour before the GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. And I'm sure you know the Greenwich Mean Time is the place where they maintain the international world's timing and they compare with the GMT with the local time. So at the moment, our local time is GMT plus 1, which means GMT plus 1 hour. All right. Okay, so let's move on. So people who like to have citizenship, they like to have secured and better life. So what is secured and better life, guys? Which means that, safety, security is better than your own country where you're born. And how the safety and security is important and better, because there is low crime rate. Administrative people are everywhere, and police is there to support you. And you'll be surprised to know in the UK, I believe that also in some states of America, police always treats the public and addresses them as a sir for the male and madam for the female. That's interesting for many people who do not know this fact. But on the contrary, I've seen Asian countries, African countries, people have to say sir or madam to the police. But in fact, they should address you because they're the public servants. And also because I work, in the healthcare sectors, and we have to also address every male as a sir and female as a madam or miss or Mrs. whatever way they like to be called. All right. So people migrate for, as I said, lifestyle. How lifestyle is important. You see, the country where you'll be living, it's like a pollution free almost. No air pollution, no water pollution, no sound pollution, no traffic jam. You don't have to spend lots of hours waiting in your car if you have got car, or in the public transportation if you travel by bus. But many countries around the world where there have got busy cities like London, Paris, Turkey or New York and many other amazing places and countries, they've got tube railway, or we in the UK call it underground railway. And in Canada, they call it subway. And America and many other countries. Okay, so they have got different name in different countries. Okay, people also migrate in those countries for social service benefits. So what are these social service benefits, guys? These benefits are amazing. Say when you become citizen, and if you don't have a job, government will help you giving money. Where they call it, income support in the UK, or job allowance, job seekers allowance. And also, if you don't have enough education or training, they'll train you. They'll make you prepare to get a job of your own, I shouldn't say choice, depending on your education and skill and expertise. All right. And also, amazing education, quality education. You'll be surprised, education in the Western countries is very expensive if you ever compare. And many people want to come to study in this country and the Western countries. And for the citizens, you'll be also surprised in countries like the UK. The education is free up to A level. You don't have to pay any tuition fees or any money. Okay. And when you finish your A level, which is the 12 years education, in many countries this is called higher secondary. And for the GCSE, which is called year 10, in many countries, or matric in many countries, or secondary school in many countries. So remember, year 10, matric, secondary school, okay, or high school in America are equivalent. And for the A level, they call it 12 years education, or higher secondary in many countries, or they call it high school last year. Okay, so those education is free for the children. So isn't it amazing? So if you think of it, if you're in your country, how much money you have to spend to send your child to British standard, or American standard, or Canadian standard, or even Australia, New Zealand standard schools, where they've got amazing teachers who are the, I should say, like leaders and heroes of the society, who can give the nation a beautiful, new generation. Okay. So, and also if you go for higher studies after 12, years completion of higher, GCSE or higher secondary or college, sometimes they call it. In many countries, you'll be surprised, it's free. I shouldn't say free, you can get government support. Especially in England, we've got a student funding England, a department of the UK government, yeah, SFE. Okay, so what does SFE do for the citizens, or the so remember that it is only for the citizens, these opportunities. Say if you're starting, say if you're planning to study engineering or doctor, and or any other your chosen subject, you have to pay lots of money. Okay, and government will pay through this SFA, student funding England, student funding of England, I believe that. Yeah, let me check again. SFA. Student finance or student funding. Yes. So what happens basically, you get your tuition fees For instance, if you're studying medicine, if you want to be doctor, your tuition fee would be every year at least £15,000. Okay, so if you're studying a medicine degree for 6 years, you have to spend £90,000. Being a general resident, it is not possible. So government has to help, and they help through this SFE, Student Funding England. And also they pay you a little bit more money for your study materials, books, transportation and other expenses, another £5,000 a month. So how much you're getting now? Picture it. You're getting 15,000 every year plus 5,000 every month. Okay, I'm sorry, every year as well, not month, my apology. So 20,000 you're getting from the government for a study purpose as a loan. So in 6 years time you're going to get £120,000. And this law and this funding is applicable for in each and every citizen of this country, regardless what is the color of the citizen. It doesn't matter, as long as you have become British citizen. I'm just giving the example for England, guys. For the UK, you can get this opportunity, but there is also restriction. For undergraduate level, you can get only one-time funding. For the graduate level or postgraduate level, you can get another time, twice. But if you want to study more, like PhD, which is doctorate degree or postdoctoral, most of the cases universities finance it, or other sources. Sometimes you can look for the sources as well. Okay, so that is another benefits of getting education. And after that, when you have to start back paying, as soon as you get a job yearly and your annual income is £27,000, then it's your time to start paying back to them. They will contact you and ask you, or ask your employer to set up a payment arrangement, like maybe monthly £100. Now picture it, if you have taken £120,000 from government for studies, if you pay £100 in a month, how long it might take? Okay, your lifetime will be passed, even this loan would be not finished. However, it's the right of the citizen. Okay, and for the social service benefits, as explaining, I forgot to mention what the government does. If you don't have a job, government will provide you training and also money until you get a job. If you don't have housing, government will provide you temporary housing and also pay you some money as well. Especially if you have got a child or children, and if you're a single parent, because divorce rate is very high in this country as well. People don't want to get married. They want to live like a husband and wife without marriage. So it's like boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay, that's why they sometimes say partner, they don't say husband and wife. And when they get divorced, if there are children under 18, they stay with the mommy, and the mommy can apply to the government to get all kinds of benefits, including housing and job seekers allowance, or they will train the mother. Okay. On the contrary, if you remember, education up to GCSE level is free. Okay, and additionally, which I've written later, medical service for the doctor's visit is free, and also any medication you get in this country is free. So that's really an amazing opportunity. You don't have to pay doctor's fee, but sometimes you need to pay, cost of the medication. But if you get any social service benefits, then you're exempted again. You see, the loophole how people can get that advantage. And but also, if you're taken to the hospital, your all expenses are free as well for the citizens, so you don't have to worry it. All right. Next is career. As I said, when you're finishing your education, and up to GCS is mandatory for each and every resident in this country. And if you've got a child or children in school age, and if you don't send them, then you'll be in trouble. Okay, under the truancy law, I'm writing it, truancy law, government will send you a show cause letter why you're not sending your child or children to the school. Okay, so remember that is another important thing. Under the truancy law, as a parent or guardian or carer, you must send your child or children to this local school. And what is the procedure of, like it mentioned? The procedure is very easy. School should be within the walking distance wherever you live. We call it borough, yeah. And you have to choose. You have to go to the borough's website, create an account, and choose 6 schools for your child. So you'll give a priority to school which is near to your home, maybe 5 minutes walk. Second school, 10 minutes walk. So given serial number 2. Third is 15 maybe. Okay, so depending on the location and distance from your home to the school, you just prioritize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And obviously and definitely you'll be given on a school for your child or children. And another advantage is that if you've got a child in a school and if you want to give your the same child to the same school, you'll get priority. Okay, so this is another amazing thing. And also when you finish your 12 plus education, then we have got admission procedure that starts in year 11. We call it UCAS, yeah. And you have to register there to create an account and apply to same 6 universities to your chosen subject. University can give you the conditional offer letter. Why it is called condition? Because some universities have got some strict requirements for the admissions, especially if you ever think University of Oxford or Cambridge, King's College, University of London, London School of Economics, or Aston University, or Birmingham University, or University Starlight, or any university that has got highest ranking in the UK and around the world ranking. They have got strict requirements. Do you know that the famous trading website Alibaba, that Ali from the guy from China, tried to get admission in Oxford University a few times, and every time his application was refused. Now he's such a business icon and people know him all over the world. But yet, as I say, quality education is very expensive. Do you have any idea how much you have to pay if you are to study in Oxford or Cambridge University? It's quite a lot. It starts as much as from £20,000 for per academic year, and academic year is only for 9 months. Just picture it, £20,000 per year in Oxford. Even the rich people can't afford to pay this money, which is why government has the student funding of England, okay, SFE, who will provide the money. And for the international students, I'll be coming back later. I'm just explaining at the moment for the local citizens, guys. And same way, you can stay in the hostel, university accommodation, or dormitory and study there. And for the international students, now here is the difference. For the same, if you want to study, there are many rich people who come from different countries were rich. Okay, that the children who are born with golden spoon, they can pay it because their fathers are rich, and for them, it should be £5,000 more for every year. So if local citizen pays £20,000 in Oxford University, so international student has to pay £25,000. But yet there are other requirements like, you know, you have to have good result in your academic performance, and also if you're an international student, you must have an IELTS score and at least 7.5 or above. Okay, 7.5 should be standard score. So remember, guys, there are some other factors which are related to these, immigration and also scholarships. Let me finish quickly. So I've got 9 minutes more. So as I go through main service described as retirement and pension. Okay, so retirement age for the male in the UK is 66 years. For the female is 65 years. So what do you get after that? You can work if you're still strong, and also you get pension from the government, provided that while you used to work before you get retirement, you paid taxes and NI. We call it national insurance tax and NI, which is so the money that you're paying at the moment, eventually you're going to get back. Okay, but here is another technical problem here in this country. If you get a salary less than £15,000 a year, then you get benefits from the government. They call it working tax credit, which is calculated depending on your salary. And after that, if your salary is like above £18,000 a year, then you have to start paying tax. And there is no way you can evade the taxation. Okay, so employer will always take the taxes, pay the tax for you, and pay the rest of the money to your bank account. And that is mandatory for each and every person. But yeah, there are some places people pay by cash where possibility that they can evade it. All right, so whatever the tax and you're contributing to the government, you're going to get it back when you retire. And another advantage is that when you retire, you'll get a special travel card which allows you to travel freely everywhere in the country. Bus, underground, train, okay, tram, and other vehicles. So these are the amazing facilities when you migrate to a country. All right, now if you like to come to a student, what kind of immigrations are available to a country? Permanent residency, as I said. Many countries offer the permanent residency depending on your education, training, skill, and English language requirement. Countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, even in the UK, they have started recently different kinds of visa. And also in many other countries from Europe also offer the same things. This is called point-based system. So you get points for education, for your age, for your training, as well as for your English language requirement. Bear in mind that there are also thousands of universities around the world that offer scholarship and stipend to the international students depending on your educational performance and IELTS score. You wouldn't believe that. There are hundreds of universities, but you have to have good score in your previous academic result, like you had, or maybe if you want to study in graduation, you have to have 70% marks in undergraduate level, or you had 12. And you must have at least 7.5 in IELTS academic. 8.75 in IELTS academic. But in some cases, they're flexible. I've seen that they also accept 7, even 6.5. It depends on the university's procedures when they advertise what are their requirements. All right, and next is you can come to a country, especially with a student visa. Okay, and you stay here as a student for 10 years, then you can apply for citizenship. It's about UK. If you go to Canada and the USA with a student, you can apply for a permanent residency after 4 years, which is amazing, guys. All right, and people also migrate with asylum as asylum seeker, especially people who are involved in politics and they think that their life is under threat. And in that case, they can there is a loophole to apply as asylum seeker. Okay, and there is another option to go to many countries under the human rights law, and only a lawyer, a genuine lawyer, can do that in both of the cases, number 3 and 4. And you can be a citizen by getting married to a citizen of the country. So what happens basically in that case, in the UK there are 3 types of marriages, guys. Okay, heterosexual, which is the straight marriage, or boy to girl, or girl to boy, vice versa. Next one is homosexual or gay marriage. Another is lesbian marriage, girl to girl. I'm sure you know that. So in order to get married, a person must be adult, which is 18 years in this country or above. And this law was passed a few years back, and you'll be surprised to know many Asians even, got married with the gay marriage and lesbian marriage, and they got the citizenship status. And the last one is you can come to this country with a visitor tourist visa, but there are restrictions with the visitor tourist visa. It is written on your visa section that you can't work, you can't take the government facilities. It says no recourse to public fund, or work should be authorized, which means that if you come here as a tourist visa, but if somebody offers you a job, then they'll give you the work permit. If you remember, I have mentioned it. Work permit is another way that you can come to the country, and I came the same way from Middle East, Saudi Arabia. So what happens when you come to work permit? You work for 5 years in this country, and after that you apply for the citizenship. And before you apply for the citizenship, you need to sit for the English speaking test or English test, and also life in the UK test, which are both needed and mandatory for you to get the naturalization. We call it naturalization. So what happens after 5 years of legal residency? You apply for indefinite leave to remain or permanent residency. Then after 1 more year, then you apply for a passport. And before that, you submit your life in the UK test as well as English language test. And both are needed. Unless and until you pass these 2 tests, you can't apply for the passport. Because government finds that sometimes many immigrants even can't speak English well. And you'll be surprised to know that once upon a time, up to the year 2020, UK was the part of the European Union, and Europeans could come to this country and work freely. When we got separated from the EU, now the government has made a mandatory English language requirement. They can't come without passing the English test, especially in healthcare sector. You'll be surprised to know in healthcare sector, in 14 professions, like doctors, pharmacists, nurses, paramedics, and many other technicians, you need to have 7.5 in IELTS exam in order to register. And those Europeans, can't get this much score because of their English level is not good. Okay, guys, stop sharing. So these are the basic information for this first session. Remember, it is not a lesson, rather it's a session for immigration and scholarship opportunities worldwide. It's once a week, every Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time at the moment. If you're interested to join, you're more than welcome. People who will subscribe for the whole month, I can send you all the documents needed for you, how you can get a scholarship, stipend, how you can immigrate in different countries. Okay, guys, and it's not for the trial users, unfortunately. Thank you very much for the people who are watching silently, and thanks for the donation of Hero. I'd like to see you next week, same time. Bye.